them what you can do if they want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm dying. I got to get some water.
Okay.
Okay.
In the arms of the
All right, we're back for our 255th episode of Shameless self-promotion here with the Buffalo Community Podcast. Of course, I'm Tyler Reese. Sitting next to me is Mark Benzer, and behind the screen right there is Luke Edlund. Another recording day, awesome. We always love these days. We wish we could do it every single week, but we do batch record these, and we've got a little bit of a break before our next guest comes in. Started off with a high energy with our first couple of guests here. But we decided to talk, hey, what should we talk about on this solo episode? And it came along of, we don't really want to talk about our work, I mean, I think it could kind of be a snooze fest when we talk about insurance and real estate when you guys aren't interested in that type of stuff. But for all of you entrepreneurs out there or business owners or anything like that, it's like, how do we market our business, not just houses, but just our business itself? Maybe let's expand a little bit about that and remind what, Luke, you do media production.
Yeah, I mean, largely sports photography, but media production, anything photo and video.
Yeah. And Mark?
I sell insurance. It's awesome.
And I sell real estate. Actually, co-owner here of North Star Pro Realty. So those are the hats that we wear right now. And I'm going to ask a request because I don't think we've done this in a long while. In the video description here, or at least the Facebook post, I would ask that if you are seeing this right now, if you could go ahead and like each one of our pages, I'm going to try and tag them here, and go follow us on YouTube and everything like that. I think we're sitting at like 250 YouTube subscribers. With zero effort trying to get subscribers on it. We just want to share this, and our primary area is Facebook and Instagram. But I want, if you could do us a huge favor, is just go like our Buffalo Community Podcast page, and if we've got some other business pages as well, that would be a great thank you and a great way to support us.
Marketing.
Please like me.
Smash that like
and
button.
for the Buffalo Community Podcast.
So marketing. A lot of people ask us, why do you do this podcast?
Yeah, I mean, the podcast is passive marketing. I think it's morphed into something more than that. I mean, it very much started out as primarily as a marketing thing.
Yeah.
It was never meant to be, though, the insurance podcast or the real estate podcast, but it was more of a way to introduce ourselves to the community so that maybe somebody can put a name with the face before we even have that first conversation.
Yeah.
But I think it has probably morphed into something we would continue to do if we were no longer doing our jobs.
I think
tomorrow.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
100% we would do that.
Right. So, but does it mean it's no longer marketing for us? No, it absolutely is marketing for us. But we just have too much fun doing it. It's turned into a hobby.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's fun. We through our efforts with just our connections with the Buffalo Chamber of Commerce, is we get asked to talk at Career Day a lot. And again, I never know exactly what we're talking about, whether it's real estate or podcasting. Right. I think we've both been surprised one morning of just like, hey, great, you're here. Oh, what are we talking about? Like, is it real estate or podcasting? And oftentimes you get the questions like, how much money do you make podcasting?
Right.
It's zero.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are making money?
It's negative.
It's actually, we paid for this.
Yeah.
But, so again, but the marketing part is to, highlight and be a face, like you said. And I usually expand that as well, because I think anybody could really do this. And I think if you tried to make a niche video podcast about sports photography, I think you could do that. A lot of these kids we're middle schoolers and high schoolers that ask these questions is, what are you actually interested in?
Right.
Because you're not going to be Joe Rogan. There's one of those.
Right.
So let's not, it's like 1 in 8 billion chance that happens.
Right.
So what can you do that actually moves the needle really, really well? But you know what? If you run a car detailing business, yeah, talk about products, talk about, that process, befores and afters, stuff like that, to share that story that might open an opportunity for somebody.
And if you think you're the only person that, well, I'm the only one in the world that's interested in Lincoln Logs, I could never do a podcast about that. You know what? You're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can niche down. I don't think there's a niche that's out of the like, if you like it and you're passionate about it, and you might feel like the only person in the world, but what a great way to find other people who share a passion, and you find a community of like, holy cow, I thought I was the only person who loved Lincoln Logs. And turns out I have 50,000 subscribers to my podcast, and get all this feedback from people around the world who love listening. What a cool way to make an impact in the world, I guess.
Lead me to the question. Did you just find a box of old Lincoln Logs or something?
I have no idea.
Storage unit?
I have.
Do you have a secret podcast about Lincoln Logs?
Right.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah. Google me.
Yeah.
I think it's a really neat thing. Again, I think podcasting is such a wide range of, we call this a podcast, but it's really a video thing primarily. Yes, you can hear the audio, but it's to highlight that. I mean, podcast. It's such a wide range of what people actually call a podcast. What can it be? I think maybe a humbling moment was when we asked ChatGPT to review us, and I thought they'd nailed it on the head right there. We joked about it
Crushed
this morning.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, they're pretty local. They don't really have an expanded search outside of Buffalo, Minnesota.
Production level is meh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Luke.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I appreciate
that's
that.
that's
We're ready to go,
upwards of
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm glad we didn't ask ChatGPT when we first started, because
Yeah.
the production grade might have been something worse than F. But
Yeah, it's so interesting because you're not going to get super more niche than what we've done. Like we've specifically set out for a podcast for the Buffalo community. Yeah, we joke about the 250,000 viewers, but max.
that's a joke.
Oh yeah, I mean it's absolutely real.
I've been posting this in Buffalo, New York's community, and nobody can find us.
Yeah.
It's great. But you're limited even just by the title of the podcast. You're not going to be reaching out super, past that. But that's kind of what the goal of the podcast is. It's to be reaching out in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is that it is very niche, right? We've talked about, like scaling, right? Like how do we, it's hard to scale when we're the Buffalo Community Podcast.
Right.
The only thing you can really hope for is to capture every member. But like if we wanted to be the Minnesota podcast or the Midwest podcast what was I going to say about, what were you saying? So the cool thing is we're the Buffalo community, but we have those offshoots of business owners, people with interesting story. So you're not limited to just talking about the Buffalo community.
Right.
You can branch off of that in many different directions.
I would say we've really we have not set a boundary on that at all, which is totally fine. The connection is, we experienced maybe the same thing in Buffalo, and it just happened, and I really enjoyed your story. I go back to some of our episodes, like Greg. Greg is just a local guy. But what he was doing was definitely not local. But I mean, it's his story, Or we just had Bowen. He's a Monticello guy, but he did grow up in Buffalo. So again, we've got a lot of grace of what we would consider Buffalo community. So
it's our podcast. We do whatever we want.
Yeah. Well, but when you look at it, it's just like all of these surrounding communities. They're so small and they overlap. I mean, we get the what do they call it? Creative
Liberty.
Creative liberty. For this.
Have you heard of Buffalo? Perfect. Come on in.
Nice. Here's a mirror fog.
Yeah. So that's kind of the podcast, marketing in general, right? Sorry.
Which is
Got
always
this cough.
great. Which is always great for a podcast. Is somebody with a tickle in their throat.
Yeah. Luke,
It's the
you-
ASMR of sickness.
yeah, Luke, you've done, I'm going to cough again, but some videography for
Yeah.
businesses, marketing and promotion.
Yeah, I found, at least for myself, I'll just talk about my own marketing for Edlin Media. I mean, the more that I post, the more leads come in. It's, just staying in front of people. And, it's a crazy concept, but it's when it's, at least in my industry and media and trying to help people, have content to post or help them with their strategy, whatever the case is. They don't know you exist unless they see you. And so whether that's, physical copies of ads in a magazine or on a billboard, for me, it's just, showing my work on social media, posting whenever I shoot a game or whenever I shoot anything, I just show the results and then people remember, oh yeah, he exists. And then they, will either book me from there or you're building trust. It's constantly reminding people, oh yeah, they do their job well and I can go to them if I ever need it.
Yep. And his stuff was shared this many times, there's this many likes, kind of builds that subtle credibility.
Yeah.
As opposed to putting it out there with 1 or 2 thumbs up and a comment from your mom saying,
Right.
I love you, Lukey.
I
nice
still get
job."
those.
Yeah, yeah.
So do we.
Yeah.
Exactly. And really, primarily, it's for social media. And this does give us an opportunity to be social on social media, because if you think you're just going to throw it all out there and it happens, it's not going to. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that you do and networking with all of the sports teams that you're working with and certainly creating some opportunities in that manner. When parents hire you for their youth sports and all of that and that personal one, again, it does build that credibility. And just kind of a connection. Do you know offhand what your best performing video is?
Guess it depends on the platform, but there's one that I had that really blew up on TikTok when I used to post on there. That was just giving tips and tricks on how to shoot sports photography. And that one got like 300,000 views. But on Instagram, which is where I'm most active, probably anywhere from like 20 to 30,000,
Sure.
something like that. Again, hyper localized. Most of what I do is Buffalo sports. I do
Right.
shoot other sports if you'd like to hire me. But
Yeah.
most of what I do is Buffalo. So you look through my Instagram, it's 90% Buffalo sports, and so it's pretty hyper localized. But what I love about that is I know a lot of the kids that are liking my posts. I photographed them in other sports. It's a really cool community that I get to be a part of and also shoot other schools. But it's fun to be really just invested in the Buffalo high school, Buffalo district sports.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like your regular team photo. I mean, that you are doing cool things. Like these kids, I mean, they react to it. Like photo shoot day for Edlin Media is super fun. I mean, you get creative with it, and which is unique and different. And I think that's what's expanding. And I've hired you a few times to for the boys' football games, which is awesome. I mean, they look like MVPs, or they're sixth graders. So, but I mean, and it makes it looks awesome. So,
Well, that's the entire purpose of what I'm trying to do is, give these kids like a hero shot, something that they can remember that, that play, that sport, they get to remember that in a really cool light.
Yeah.
Versus, I think I like in small part, I'm trying to give kids what I never had was like really cool sports pictures of them. Cause I think I maybe have like a handful of photos from all my sports.
You've got an older brother, don't you?
Yeah. Several.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple.
They have more photos than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the youngest. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's cool too because 90, I'll just say 95, but it's probably even much bigger. To be able to get, I can take a picture with my cell phone or, maybe even a DSLR, but to get something from you to know that you can blow it up something bigger than 8x10 and hang it on your wall. You know, if you get the right shot of your kids doing something they love to do, I think there's a lot of value in that. If you wanted to make a
Montage.
big head,
A fat head.
a fat
That's
head
what they used to
poster,
call 'em.
yeah,
The
head.
big
Not-
stickers.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean that's that marketing. I mean, it's favorable impressions. What better way in social media, in kind of a platform like this, and then the opportunities that we're all a part of, volunteering. I mean, I think a lot of it goes to kind of that Americana of your small town community, and a lot of it is kind of like the old, I guess, what do they used to do, like the phone book that doesn't exist really anymore. I don't even, do phone books exist anymore?
I think so.
Yellow pages.
Right. I mean, but like that's really what it's become now. That's how you make the difference.
Oh, sure.
in front of other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, and you do a very good job of marketing.
Thank you.
You are very video heavy, right? Like I don't know what all your. I mean, you have the billboard now, but you're very consistent. Like when I talk to people and it comes up about, some people will say, "You ever try to do this for a living?" Or you ever? It's like, yeah, we've talked about this and this, and but I give you a ton of credit for this, because I think your biggest strength is consistency.
Oh, biceps.
You're very
Just kidding.
consistent. Like
Yeah.
like a lot of people will start, they'll get an idea, they'll do it for a little bit, and then if it doesn't produce like an immediate result, you just kind of quit doing it because it's not what you've always done. But
Sure.
like you're a very consistent person. You consistently are putting social media content out. I'm getting choked up here. But so I think the consistency of this podcast, I give you a lot of credit for, because I'm classic, like get an idea, start it, get distracted, don't come back to it.
I think thank you for that. And it's absolutely intentional of, we had this when we came up with the idea of doing a podcast. Is one, it was kind of odd, the birth of it. But when we said, I kind of forced you, hey, we're going to record and say, hey, we are launching this thing. We recorded in December. We are launching this thing after the first of the year. And we hadn't recorded anything yet. We didn't even have a guest at that point. But that really kind of put the feet to the fire. And then we had said, all right, we're not going to quit until we're at episode 25.
Right.
We're not even going to entertain the idea of quitting
Right.
for 25 episodes. And I think we're around, I don't know, 230 or something right now. Which is so fun. So and that's the way I kind of build that as well. I do a lot of historical stuff, data analysis, and I just keep it, but I do it every 90 days. So one of the most recent ones, I've been keeping this information for like 6 years. And it started with, a marketing packet to an owner. And then, 5 years later, I got a phone call, said, oh, yeah. And he handed me that first marketing packet that I had, and he kept every single one of them. And I just thought, oh, I also have these digitally, it was neat, but it was the long game of that discipline for it. And, so that's kind of part of our marketing, because not everybody's going to buy a house every day or anything like that. It's not like grocery shopping.
Right. It's not like ordering pizza. You don't do that every single day.
Not every day, no.
So, Tyler, that's one thing I think that kind of differentiates and separates you is your consistency, and not only that, but like the quality of the content that you put out is always impressive to me. Not just
not just your production,
not just me. But just when I see North Star Pro Realty post, it's always a question that a lot of times I've either asked myself or didn't think to ask. Yeah. And I'm like, oh wow, that's actually some really helpful information. So that like there's genuine value that comes along with it.
Yeah, and that's my team as well. I'm not taking all that credit for it, but it together, I mean, that's important. So we do talk about that, and a lot of that effort is through our team. So in putting that, Eric does a lot of those informational videos. I maybe do a little bit more.
Eric does a great job.
Yeah. You should tell him that next time you see him.
Knock on the wall over here.
Yeah. But I think all of that is, you know, when you're sitting there doing this marketing piece, and you know, and all of us are like, gosh, what are we doing? You know, but it is, you never know when that email comes or that text message comes, hey, I need this, or can you do this? You know, I tell everybody about you, and eventually, you know, I lack the hey, I've got this photographer coming out there, you know, call Luke, like, because he's going to be shooting my kids that day, you know, to put one for the whole team. You know, there's a lot of work into that, but I could be better at that. So we will. They're playing next year too. So,
got a few years left.
Yeah.
It's always nice when parents will do that. You know, it's never required, but that word of the mouth is word of the mouth. Yes,
word of the mouth.
That's my specific word of mouth.
What do you say?
Word of the mouth.
The Northern Metro.
Northern Minneapolis.
Northern Minneapolis. That's what it was.
You go there often?
Yeah.
Mark, marketing in insurance is a little different sometimes. How do you approach it with your job?
Poorly. Well, I shouldn't say poorly. So I guess I'll give myself a little bit of credit in that I stay very, very busy with very little marketing. I'm uncomfortable saying that because but it's
kind of the goal.
That's the goal.
That's an awesome
It's a good, and I would like to do more. In like every year I make a resolution, and I kind of use you as my example of just like, I just have to start putting out relative timely content, even if it's a 30-second something, even if it's just a funny joke, even if it's just put something out there. And I think a lot of it, even after all these years of doing this, I'm very comfortable in this setting.
Yeah.
But if I were to say, all right, today's the day, like I have to hold my feet to the fire like we did before and do it until I get comfortable.
Right.
Because one of the things that I've always, as soon as I heard it, I've never forgotten it, is like, I say I never forgot it. It was so important to me, I never forgot it. Now I can't repeat it. But basically, don't let of not being good at something stop you from doing it. Because if you do it over and over and over again, you will get good enough. And good enough sometimes, and in some cases, is totally acceptable. And I think social media marketing, good enough is one of those things as far as it goes for me. I don't need to strive for anything beyond good enough. Like if you're excellent at it, great. But don't wait until you're excellent at it to start doing it.
You won't do it.
You won't. Yeah.
Let me ask you, you had said, even if it's a funny joke, do you have a go-to insurance joke or just a joke in general?
Well, so this is my favorite. It's not really insurance related. It kind of is. But, so do you know what an accountant is? It's an actuary with a personality.
That is so stupid.
And one of the most like bubbly personality people I know.
What is an actuary?
Oh, that's why you didn't laugh. You will as soon as you get the answer to your question.
Put it down in the comments if you understood Mark's joke.
An actuary is like a math nerd that in the insurance business, an actuary determines rates.
Sure.
Based on risk and numbers and data. And they say,
I didn't think that joke could get worse.
It got better.
Oh, what did I say?
You didn't think it could get worse.
Oh, yeah. I still stand behind that. I'm just kidding, Mark.
No, you're not.
I bet you that kills with accountants.
Neither one of those groups of people really care for that joke.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well,
don't lie. That was a total lie.
Pretty good at
This
it.
is the Liar podcast now.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. Part of the difficult part in insurance is compliance, like of putting any type of information out there. That's why we kind of shy away from that.
Yeah.
And, I wish I could tell stories about this, but I'm bound by confidentiality with my
confidentiality licensing. Or like hey, binding, or Mark is a licensed insurance agent, and on the podcast he recommended this, and so I did it, and then this happened.
Right.
And so like there's all sorts of like, I'm probably a little bit overly sensitive to that, but I just don't ever want to hear from.
That's why you're in insurance.
Yeah, right.
The risk reward.
Yeah. So it just, but yeah, like compliance is just the worst. I mean, I get why it's there. I understand the purpose of it, but it's just like some of the most innocent, well-intended stuff
Yeah.
is like you run it through your compliance department and they're like, oh, you can't, we got to take that out. It's like, well, if we take that out, I'm not even going to do this video because like.
That's the whole point of it. Like actuary, that was the most important part.
Actuary?
Yeah.
Actuary.
I didn't use the term right, did I?
All right. Well,
I think
on
that's one
on
of
that
the-
stupid note.
That's one of the parts I find interesting because, like, marketing for me is fairly easy. I just document what I do and then I put it out there. For you guys, like, you actually have to be, masters in your field. Like, you have to know what you're talking about. Otherwise, people can sniff that out pretty quick.
I think you're a master in your field.
Well, I
Luke.
appreciate
you
that.
do put some really good videos out there.
I appreciate that, and I like to think that I know what I'm talking about. But on top of that, I can just share the work that I'm doing, and that's enough.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
Right.
If you want to differentiate yourself, there's a lot of sports
Yeah.
photographers out there that are kind of dime a dozen. What can you do differently? And so you can do some educational content. You can do
Right.
other things that show that you are an authority in the field.
Yeah. But what's your goal? I mean,
To book more work.
right.
Yeah,
By putting good work out there.
exactly.
as an
You show them
example.
what you can do. They want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm dying. I got to get some water.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, for the Buffalo Community the Copcast?
Copcast?
The Copcast. Bad boys, bad
That's our
boys.
next podcast.
What you gonna do?
I'm Mark Benzer.
What did those hosts get into?
I'm Luke Edlund.
Thanks for listening to the Buffalo Community Podcast, produced by Edlund Media. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts.